let's be balanced. Let's adopt there's a textbook I love so much, balanced scorecard.
Mm-hmm.
So let's adopt a balanced, strategy, to both tendencies in the people.
Yeah.
Number one, is Mr. Wike playing the role of a mercenary? That is one. Number two, Sheyi Makinde, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, Adamu Fintiri, and a few of them, who went to organize that convention in Ibadan that the court has now said, was illegal and all of that because he went against a court pronouncement. Were they wrong? Did they commit a political blunder? So these two questions.
I think what I would say is that, it's very painful. Taminu Mohammed, the chairman of that contraption, would have really been the type of material you need as chairman. And since he was not the main organizer of that process, I can't hold him responsible for that. But what I would like to say is that there were two issues on the table. The first issue is Lifu. What did Lifu say? Jigawa man, Lamido, was the one who went to court to say he was prevented from buying a form. I have slept over this more than 100 times, asking myself, what's the big deal in selling a form to Sule Lamido? We would have done consensus of some sort, unity list. And if you guys didn't want to make Sule Lamido chairman, he wouldn't have made it anyway. Why put us in a situation where we had a judgment saying because you didn't sell form to Lamido, don't go ahead? That's a very big issue. In the Omotosho matter, Omotosho said, Omotosho was a very smart judge. He said, INEC, you can't go there until they purge themselves of issues within their own election, their constitution. What were the issues? Go and complete the congresses where due. Go and ensure that the zonal congresses are done so that a significant numbers will not be disenfranchised. These are elementary textbook law. And if the judgment came, when you were going ahead, did you expect Justice Lifu or Justice Omotosho to come and strangle you or prevent you? They can't do that. They've written the judgment cast in iron. You can do whatever you want that you say is against it. Now you are in court. You are before the Court of Appeal. From some of the judgments and the way we have been reading, we know that clearly even a judgment has come from Ibadan to tell you that you are not even to be recognized, you are not to be paraded, you are not even to parade yourself as those titles. If the other side was as hostile as they should be, they should have demanded contempt on you because there's a court that says don't even parade. So that's that. In terms of whether Wike is playing the mercenary, I think that in the long run, Wike is going to live to regret these positions he's running now. He's going to live to regret it. The reason why I say this is that I understand that the South, all of us from the South, we are all on the same page as to the fact that we want the presidency to stay in the South. And by that, it is so that we can respect the pendulum. It was in the North for 8 years, it's in the South now. So that can color his action and the actions of a lot of Southern governors who are the coming. But what I wanted, why I said he's going to regret it is that in the end, he will have to make up his mind. How long can he play this politics this way? The totality of people in the country are about 200 million plus, some of them young, and history is going to record this moment. And when history records this moment, what will history record in his name? If he's not careful, and I wish he knows what to do, I'm not his advisor, history may record Nyesom Wike as a person who destroyed the PDP. And that's a very damn position to have historically, because tomorrow will come. And the 2027 election has not been done. Imagine, just close your eyes and imagine we win. When I say we, I mean if the opposition is able to find themselves, gather together, strengthen themselves, stop playing games and get serious with the work, and we win. And then the morning after, we now have to do the audit of the past era. Where do you think Wike is going to find himself? Where do you think some of them? So when you are playing in the public space, you have to play knowing fully well that, yes, the position of the devil is also a beautiful position for those who want to be called agents of the devil. But ultimately, the position of Jesus Christ is the one beautiful one. And I think it's best for everybody to chase what is good for them, their children, and their unborn generation. But hey, it's up to Wike to do whatever he likes with himself.
Brilliant. I was going to ask you if some people believe Wike is being given one single mandate by the president.
I know the president more than Wike. He probably started interacting with the president. I've been interacting with the president since 1994. President is not that kind of person. Bola is not that kind of person. It's not that, listen, oh God, you guys don't even know your president. Ashadu is not that kind of person that needs you to come and able to do anything. More than likely, they are the ones that will even be running on the floor, rolling on the floor, trying to show him that they are more loyal to him than even his own biological children. That's the kind of fellow he is. He plans for disappointment. He plans his own game. He works very hard. He puts his money where his mouth is. He ensures that he has science on his side. He wakes up at night thinking about all the important things. He knows his own pathway. He knows his pathway. Don't forget, in 2011, he took a pathway, they didn't succeed. In 2015, they took a pathway, they succeeded. And when they succeeded in 2015, he didn't include rivers. Neither did he include the South-South. Neither did he include the Southeast. And when he wanted to do a re-election for Buhari, he still didn't include rivers. He still didn't include the Southeast. And he got a re-election. Now he's won his own election, yeah? And when he was trying to win his election, he did not include the Southeast. It included only a small part of the South-South. But he did not include, and he still won. Now he's president. He's trying to do re-election. I believe he's not told me he's going for re-election, but let's just take it to the bank that he's going for re-election. He's trying to do re-election. Do you see him like kind of person who is relying on the last playbook? He's smarter than them. I'm not afraid of saying that. Because he doesn't make assumptions that he's going to win the next election by the assumption with which he won the last. So what do you see him do? He's begging people. He's putting a lot of structures in the grassroots. He's setting up movements, city boy movement. He's inviting governors. He's speaking to people. He's making everybody a little bit nice. He's even getting people like us to see some of the positive things he's doing. Some of his ministers are inviting us to come and see. They're not forcing me. They're not telling me to come and join their party. Just say, come and look. You have a critical mind. Come and look. If you see something, tell us. That's how to win. And if he then wins now, you are going to say, come and search out the wicked, this wicked. And listen, the president that I know, I don't know whether you have fingered his brains since you took him into Aso Rock. The president that I know plans for the betrayal of even the most closest ally. How much more that of a turncoat?
I believe I know the president much more than you.
Maybe too. Maybe.
I knew him in 1993 at Mobile. I was a young...
Fantastic. That means that you started knowing him at Mobile.
I was a young intern at Mobile.
Fantastic. That means... I want to tell you what okay. That means that you've worked with him in Mobile.
Not directly with him.
No, I know, but the fact that you...
Exactly.
Okay, you knew his name.
No, I knew him. I was auditor there.
Okay, fantastic. Was your auditor in Mobile? You were too junior. You probably not engaging him.
I saw him.
You worked there. You know how I knew him?
Yeah.
I knew him on the strategy sessions that was run by people who ended up getting you this democracy.
Let's get on. Now, this is the point. You made a very...
I'm not claiming that I know him more than everybody.
We all understand. It's a contextual statement. Yeah, of course. Now, the president is not relying on one individual.
Never does.
But we remember when the president went to the National Assembly, I think it was a budget presentation speech. He said people are afraid of him turning, they are alleging that he's going to turn Nigeria into that. He's not going to do that.
He's not interested.
But he said that if I would also not stop them. He'd want to, self-destruct. That's a very loaded. Number two, Governor Seyi Makinde, a governor. So we expect him not to be a liar. At least not a cheap liar. No, hold on. The president told Governor Seyi Makinde that Seyi Makinde said to the president, oh, is it because you want Adelabu Tinubu, Adelabu Bayo to take over as governor? That's why you made him minister. Tinubu said, no, I want you to go and work for me. He told Seyi Makinde, a PDP governor, to go and work for him in APC. Now, but then the biggest evidence of all, why make Wike FCT minister, if not to do a hatchet job? As it's been alleged, that Wike has been asked to play the role of an undertaker. And sorry, Segun, Turaki, the so-called chairman of the PDP, just a quick question, now said, if the courts give Wike faction, that's the end of the PDP. What do you say?
Okay, oh God, you see, lovely, but let me say this.
Yes.
If a president looks at a rival governor, if you like, and says, are you trying to make Adelabu? And then, no, I'm not, I even want you. Yeah. That will tell you the essence of the kind of politician that Ashaju is. There is no way he will say, I even want, if I said to you, I want you. Even if it's just that little bit, it will soften you because you will think that instead of him to be hostile and say, no, I'm good, he will say, I want you. You may not agree, you may not go, but at least he didn't say, I don't want you. Yeah. Politics is a game that asks for inclusion, not exclusion. Even the most stubborn child, A leader must bring him close because it's better managed close than leaving him outside to just be doing whatever he wants. So that's a plus, not a minus, really. In terms of whether the PDP will die, even if Wike wins, I can guarantee you one thing. Oh God, this party, if it was to die, it was meant to die when Obasanjo tore his card. The man who tore his card that day ended up even campaigning for PDP and Atiku on the same PDP platform. I think that I've been asking myself, so that you get where I'm coming from, that Segun, do you have the stamina to still continue to pump this party even if and when it loses? Therefore, so that you can also be trying to make it alive, or have you gotten to your wit's end? There are a lot of PDP people asking the same question. And I have a feeling that when the die is finally cast and it is settled, I have a feeling that they're going to look at the APC, their house style, their inability to do democracy within their party system, where it's just command and control, one person backs other. If the other favors you, all well and good. But if they can look at their immediate past national secretary, former deputy governor, former senator, secretary that organized the congresses that even cleared the likes of Bola Tinubu to be president, if they can look him straight in the face and tell him that he did not make clearance in their party, any Democrat who wants the long-term play should be scared. Segun Sowunmi, don't even let me deceive you. I love Ashaju to the extent of how I know his mind works and what he's doing. There are a lot of things I don't agree with him. We both know that. But up to the extent that, okay, in terms of the economy, what is the thought processes? What was the alternative? What could have been better? What is available? What are the others even saying? They are What are they even saying? What can you break down, couple, and say, okay, this is the direction? What's the policy that they are talking about? I like him. But liking Bola Tinubu is not a sufficient condition to go and join a political party that is run the way they run their party. I expect the APC to implode. So, to that extent, whatever the outcome of the now, PDP is going to survive.
Brilliant. But let me ask you pointedly. I think you've alluded, but I want you to be clear for our viewers. So, however the case goes, if the faction you seem to have soft spot for, if they lose, is that enough to make you leave?
You mean if Shemakine lose?
Yes.
Is
that enough to make you leave the PDP?
No, I will not. You see, I even have a feeling that if they lose, they themselves they will go and do an introspection and realize that you win some, you lose some. Some of them are romancing the ADC anyway. And some of them may be tempted to say they are going to the ADC, but they will go and lose together with that one. And some of them, they will lose. Some of them are probably also already talking to the presidency and the APC in the back. Some of them will find accommodation. You know, the thing that we have done that I don't like, and I want your audience and you to also help me think through it. This democracy was not envisioned to be a place where it will always be about individual ambition. If we had not run the risk of having them Obasanjo and them Atiku them say that president is leader of party, governor is leader of party, if we had not made that fundamental error at the beginning of this republic, these things would not have been this way. Because what we are seeing now is that people are interpreting their own love of ticket, their desire to get platform. They are interpreting it to mean the be-all and end-all of political party. I have lost tickets. I've lost struggle for ticket once. I've won ticket once. And I didn't win the first time when I won a ticket to go to the House of Rep. I came second. The PDP in other election, he came fourth. I called the person I won and I congratulated him. He did not do anything spectacularly than I could have done. And I'm sure I would have done far better than them. But it didn't upset me that much. You know why? Because I understand that the party can survive. At least we did a good show. Let's continue. I tried to be governor in 2023. We went all the way to the Court of Appeal. I was locked in at the Supreme Court. The case was not called. And when the chips came down to it, I said to myself, what am I supposed to do now? I still supported the party and won with large margin. I'm running, I'm trying to be governor even now. I'm pushing very, 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 very hard to be governor. I feel I'm a good material for that office. But I've not dumped the PDP. Rather than dump the PDP, what I created was the alternative movement so that I can be reorientating the society according to some of my own ideals using that platform. Instead of running the risk that it will be seen like I'm supporting one side against the other in PDP. But hey, when you are a student of political science and the workings of politics, you must not pretend not to see what is fact before you. Honestly, if Sam Daddy, if he was wrong, he's my friend, I would have not supported him. But he is right. He is right to the extent that it was the constitution of the PDP that allowed him to hold on to secretary while being governor. You can't blame him for taking advantage of the law which you created. When he came back, if you people had not been fighting yourselves, he would be secretary, all of you would take decision together. When they wanted to start this hopeless fight, I went to all of them and said, guys, never mind what we outside see. You guys have to be united, otherwise give us problem. They didn't listen. We went all the way to court. I followed him, or I went to listen to the judgment the day they were reading it finally in the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court was very clear that Nemeka Anyanwu is secretary. 5 minutes after they gave that judgment, what did they do? They went and started doing something to pretend as if, even though the court has said they should do this, they will not obey. That's what led us to this nonsense. And now we have gone to Ibadan in spite of 2 court orders. And now we're going to likely lose that material. And look, Taminu is a good guy. I've known him all our political life. He's never decamped from PDP. He suffered a lot of them. I remember when they were trying to do his state. I know how they were undermining them, and he still stood with the party. I've seen the little he's trying to do even as caretaker. If he had been properly empaneled, he's the kind of guy that you want to push forward. He has the face, he has the image. We can manage ourselves. But hey, how am I going to help you, especially him being a son? How am I going to help him to agree to an idea that you can build something or nothing? Shall I see them going into a ditch and go and be running with them into it? When they come back from the Court of Appeal, they're going to get the result. And when they get the result, however the result is, the court has not done them injustice. The court would only adjudicate on the arguments you bring before them and the filings. A very senior judge, when I started quarreling with them, judge said, look, Segun, we don't do you people favors. Judgments are written based on, 1, the filings. That filings are very important. 2, the response on law that the others give. And then the little arguments that they adopt before us. And we'll be guided by statute, we'll be guided by precedent, we'll be guided by the Constitution and our conscience. Those who do the hard work before coming to court will win. And when they win, and you people go and bring your lazy approach to judgment and you lose, we can't be responsible for the fact that you didn't do your homework.